And hello, everyone, and welcome to the Unite Show. My name's Crystal. I'll be your host tonight, along with my co-host, Shine Kelly. Together, we are Unite's co-founders, and Unite is our new social wellness marketplace that you can find at www.unite.love. So tonight, you have tuned into the Unite Show, and what we do here is we get to interview lovely community members who have beautiful wellness offerings or anything really related with being able to uplift and support us in our endeavors to impact humanity in a positive way. So tonight, we have a very special guest joining us, the beautiful and talented Megan Shallow, and she is going to be sharing with us about authentic marketing and how we can use marketing to better get our message across in a really authentic way and get away from some of that kind of salesy pitch kind of feeling that sometimes we think of when we think of marketing. She's got a wonderful company, BNL Marketing, and she does just a beautiful job. She's also our event sponsor for one of our event sponsors for our upcoming July 21st event happening in Vancouver. So we'll be getting to get even more of Megan on July 21st, but this is our little sneak preview. And then after we get to hear from Megan, we've got a couple of our other vendors, sponsors, and speed healers going to be joining us after 8 o'clock tonight in about an hour. And we're going to be hearing a little bit more about what they're going to be bringing to the event. So without any further ado, Shine, did you have anything to add? No. So welcome, Megan, and please just take a moment to share a little bit about yourself with our community so they can start to get to know you.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a social media marketing agency that I founded back in 2017 and slowly grew it from there. I was a solopreneur and then started to delegate a little bit and just got a little addicted to the amazingness that comes with delegation. And I've worked with many contractors and employees up to this point, but I do have a team of 7 solid full-time employees now. And that has been a journey to get here, but they're amazing. And we call them the social media unicorns. I started as the lead unicorn, and then I turned them all into mini versions of me that are even better than me. And it's just so cool to see how that has grown. And I have built BNL from a very intuitive place. And I continue to navigate that. I'll take snippets of like what the world says and how they say you should build a business. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. And I'm just going to make a little twist on that feels a little bit more heart-centered, and then I'm good to go. So it's been really fun to do that and to continue my own. It's been like probably the biggest spiritual journey of development I've ever experienced, building this company and really honing in on the authentic communication and intuitive gifts that can be a really big game changer in the social media world and in the marketing world in general. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. And it is very divine timing that today Meta decided to launch a new social media platform. So we can even talk about that one that's here, and it will stay because it's owned by Facebook. So it's a cool world we live in right now. Oh, Crystal, you're on mute. I wish I could unmute you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll just chatter on here. No one needs to hear what I have to say. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting time where we can feel very connected, but also quite overwhelmed and even disconnected because it feels so stressful. So I think that's kind of one of the things that we want to lean into a little bit on this chat tonight is just sometimes it's like, okay, there's 18 million places to post. Where do I post? What's best for my brand? What's best for me? What can be most effective? And, I know all the social media platforms kind of have their own little like gear and focus. And sometimes it can be confusing trying to take like the same thing across all platforms. So yeah, I'd love a little bit of your insights into that and how we can kind of demystify and maybe decomplicate some of the social media world.
Yeah. I mean, I always go with the fantastic wisdom of Marie Kondo, like do what brings you joy. That's where I always tell people to start. it's like, don't start with YouTube if that feels like the most daunting thing you could ever do in your entire life. Do like, if there's a platform that brings you joy, use that platform first, because they all have every social media platform has the same foundational pieces, because that's what makes social media so successful. So the foundations are where you can practice and gain confidence and really hone in on your messaging and how you like to copyright and all of those things. And your community will be there because you love that space, and that space, your ideal clients probably also love that type of community more than the other social platforms. So that's where I recommend going first. And really finding the structure, but having freedom within the structure. I say it all the time. Like, as entrepreneurs and intuitive beings, like, you need the freedom within a structural, like having the structure pieces and the systems, but still having the freedom to, you know, if an idea comes up, you post it. Like today, I was like, my team, they know. I'm like, guys, Fred's just launched. We need a blog and a post, and we need it today. And they're like, okay. And then they followed the systems to get that done. So that's like my biggest piece. Like, when people come to me, they're like, well, like, my competitors are on LinkedIn, and then like, I feel like I should probably do a YouTube video. And then like, I know I need to be on Instagram, but like, I don't understand all the things, but I like am used to Facebook because I've been on it for so long. And then I'm like, okay, then just like do Facebook, and let's just get used to doing stories on Facebook and posts on Facebook and lives on Facebook and all of those things. And then once that's going, then take that same knowledge and then like just tweak it for Instagram. And then you kind of you jump to the next one. Like, YouTube is still, I have my team being like, you should do YouTube. I'm like, no, like, I can't. I'm talking to a camera. I can't do horizontal yet. I'm not there. So
this video is going on YouTube.
Yeah.
Great.
So you'll be on YouTube.
One.
We'll get you on YouTube.
We have an account, so feel free to take us. It just sits there. So, but I know that I like needed to increase my confidence on video. So I'm like, okay, vertical video is the most comfortable for me. So that's where I've been practicing first. And then I get feedback of like, okay, fix this, fix that, or like, get more concrete or succinct. And I'm like, I hate you, but yes, okay. And that like has helped me increase my confidence with video, because I know one day I'm gonna have to do it, but it's not yet. So
Yay.
yeah, the joy is key.
Joy.
Creativity thrives. Does not thrive if you hate the whole scenario.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
which platform brings you guys joy?
Oh, which platform?
Well, I'd have to say Unite, since we built it.
I grew up on Facebook,
Yeah.
and it was my first ever. And it feels like the most, well, honestly, which platform brings me joy is TikTok. Like, personally,
Interesting. Yeah.
I love it. It's such an
Yeah.
uplifting thing when it just like gets what I like and gives me more of it, and it can change based on my mood. And I'm like, yeah, like that's exactly right. Thank you.
And it's very real. It's very raw a lot of the time. Like, TikTok is not very, there's staged versions, but people just jump on, really.
Yeah. And a lot of it's uplifting, and I think they reward that. And also, when I first saw it, I was very shy about it, because I was like, oh my God, like, being on camera, like, that's crazy. And then I realized that only people who are pretty confident will go on camera, and people who are pretty confident are usually pretty positive and like have more of a positive energy than negative. And so I think that's why TikTok leans that way. For me, as like a mental health whatever person, I love like looking at what uplifts my mood when I'm down, or what I can use to kind of like get out of a funk. And TikTok is like a pretty consistent thing.
It
like
nails it.
It's immersive enough. It like gives me good content. Facebook Reels is brutal. It's like fights and terrible stuff. And I'm like, Jesus, get this out of my face. Instagram is fine, but it's like so flowery. It only shows me like beautiful nature. I think it like thinks that that's all I want, and so it just get all the time nonstop nature, which is fine. But I literally will only scroll videos on TikTok now, like mostly because it just feels YouTube Shorts sometimes. That they kind of get me too, like because they really change to what I'm interested in. I think that's the new thing is an algorithm not based on who you're following, but based on what you're interested in right now.
Yeah. And that's where TikTok is nailing it.
Yeah.
And that's why they're leading in the in the trending world, and like they're leading in the content digestion. Like that's like why people are going to that platform. It's almost replacing, TV, and
Oh,
like
100%.
yeah, it's entertaining, but in a good way, like you said.
Yeah. We had a 19-year-old living with us, and he was like, yeah, I don't watch TV, I watch TikTok.
Yeah.
That's his TV.
I've had friends tell me they'll spend an hour on TikTok and that's just what they'll do instead of watch Netflix. And I'm like, what?
100%.
Yeah.
And it's more active. I think it's better for you. You're like, well, sometimes it's nice to just tune out, but I have a hard time tuning out. Like I'm always doing something. If I'll like listen to movies and do stuff on the other tabs. And like, I'm kind of a busy mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question, Megan.
Yes.
Okay. Most of our audience is like solopreneur wellness people. If you were a solo wellnesspreneur, what would be like the thing if you had to pick one thing only to build your business and make sales? What would you do?
Like which platform, or what would I do?
Sure.
Okay.
Both.
I would start with Instagram, because with all of the other platforms, it's harder to go out and get followers that are aligned with your niche. It's basically, you do have to do a lot of waiting, or like trust that people are sharing and those kinds of things, and that people want to click the 3 steps that it takes to go make a follow. And with TikTok, the engagement it's not the searchability from a local level, because every business owner, when they start, grows off referrals. The best businesses always are from referrals. And there are people that I'll talk to that are successful solopreneurs. I'm like, oh, like, where do you get, like, do you do any marketing? Like, what do you, like, where do you go? And they're like, oh, I don't really need to, because I just grow through word of mouth. And I'm like, okay, so you need to be on Instagram, because Instagram is turning into this like hub where people, it's like the traveling business card. And every time someone meets now, even if it's just a friend, people will add each other on Instagram before taking a phone number.
Yeah.
Like that's the new, like, here, let's exchange contact details. It's like, here, what's your Instagram handle?
Oh, interesting.
That's also the trend with dating apps. So anyone who's like been on dating apps, which are also social platforms in their own right, in some way, shape, or form, the exchange and the way that people are communicating now, it's no phone number first, it's Instagram handles first. And then if, you check them out, you follow what they post on Instagram for a little bit, you talk in the DMs, then you give the phone number. So there's a trust piece that Instagram's allowed to provide people.
Oh, because you can block it or whatever.
Yeah. And it's just, I always am so fascinated by watching human behavior, because this is not how it used to be. It used to be, you like I just use dating as an example because it's a relationship builder. And like it used to be, meet someone in real life, probably add them as a friend on Facebook, and then send them a PM. Like that was the thing, the trajectory, especially as a young millennial. I watched that happen to myself and all my girlfriends all the time. And now it's shifted over to Instagram as being that place where people add each other first. And the millennials continue to lead the way in how that's happening. Gen Zs I've even interviewed some Gen Zs like for hiring purposes. And I always ask, like, what's your favorite platform? And most of them still say Instagram, which I think is funny, because the marketing world is saying Gen Zs love TikTok. 30%. And they love Twitter. I even found a Gen Z who liked Twitter, which I thought was very strange. But it's all about that relationship building piece. So when you're a solopreneur, you're wanting to connect with your local community. You're wanting to connect with other professionals in your local community and abroad. And you can use that through their powerful search engine tool very easily. So that's what I tell anyone who gets into, even if they're bridging into entrepreneurialism, it's like, get on Instagram. You don't even have to post, just see what's going on in your local community, because that's where your referrals start, because local always supports local.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love
And that's
that.
how I built BNL. I started as a blog, and then someone saw that I liked posting on Instagram, and my hairdresser was like, hey, like, can you run my Instagram? Like, you seem to do an okay job with yours. I was like, sure. And then that snowballed from there. And all I did was focus on the local community. And like that hair salon turned from like not being known in Kelowna to being like one of the biggest advocacies for like cruelty-free hair and all of that stuff. And it was all through their Instagram.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So
So would you say, I know sometimes people can feel like to get the word out and to get their message across, they need, you know, a website, they need to be on all these platforms. Would you say that Instagram could kind of replace a website?
I think it could, I would never tell anyone invest in a website first, because we all know like they're at least $3,000 for something that's actually worth owning.
Yeah.
You can get really cheap ones, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So like I started my business before I had a website. I didn't even know really what my company was. And I just would get DMs or
Mhm.
referrals through email.
Nice.
So that's like the power in the DMs is so real.
Yeah.
And so people, like, we've worked with a lot of service-based businesses now, and like with boutiques who are e-commerce, people just want to try to buy it through the DMs. So we literally have like, they have an admin assistant who monitors that all day, because people are like, oh, what size is this? How does it fit? And then they just send them the link and then they buy it. So like, if we could do an e-transfer, which we used to do when the boutique was really small, they would just e-transfer straight through the DMs. And I was like, this is wild, but okay. Like, there's no trust. Like there's like instant trust if you're communicating with someone through that space.
Nice. Very
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, I think that's kind of the reminder we want to give to our community, is really to kind of get out there and start connecting with your community right away. You don't have to be polished. You don't have to have your site up. You don't have to have your click funnels sorted. You don't have to have everything in the flow, because often it does take quite a bit of seeing it, connecting with it, feeling comfortable with it, like you were talking about, kind of getting some repetition. The people keep popping up, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember. Oh, they're still doing cool. Oh, they're still doing cool stuff, before people are going to engage anyways. So it gives you a little bit of that runway to, you know, before you get to sales. And you can even be like, you know, hey, we're just starting out. We don't even have the product up yet. Stay tuned, or whatever. And I think that's really just kind of like, you know, progress over perfection, and just start building those relationships.
Yeah. I mean, I look back at the things that I used to post for my clients and the reports that I used to give them every month. And I'm like, how the heck did I get here? Like, like it was like, I had no graphic designer. So I was literally using like the Canva templates of 2018, which we all know were like, there was like 10 and everyone was using them. And then I was using PowerPoint for like a monthly report. And it was very basic. I shared it with my team yesterday to be like, here's where we came from. Do not worry. You guys are going to do great with this new template that we have, that our graphic designer created for us. And so you can start, and it snowballs. If you're good at what you do, if you're very intuitive in how you build and show up on social media, and even if it's just posts to start, because that feels like the least daunting, you can still make a community from just posts.
Nice.
We've seen it happen. Reels are an amazing addition, but they all have purpose. Like Reels does entertain, but it also shows up and can bring you new followers. Like that's the purpose of Reels. Whereas posts are really educational and they provide value, and it allows people to kind of like feel it. You can't feel someone in the same way through a Reels, because everything happens so fast.
Yes.
Where if you have an image and then you have beautiful copy that just like feels aligned, people will want to continue to follow, and maybe even send a DM to be like, hey, really love your perspective, would like to learn more. How do I do that?
Yes.
And that's just what people will do. And I've seen it done many times. And I've also been a consumer that has done that. So
Love that.
yeah.
Nice.
Yay.
If you were building a brand new social media app, what would you do and why?
Oh my goodness. I personally love the power of just posts and written word. Video is great, and I'll do the entertainment piece, but I do feel very exhausted after. I could take a nap after doing a reels, especially if I'm in charge of editing it and posting it as well.
God. Yeah.
Because I don't like being in my analytical brain whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just like, I love having a photo, and then I love creating some sort of copy that lands with the photo, and it sometimes doesn't even like it, and I just make it make sense. Like my favorite practice was to find the weirdest stock image and then try to relate it to social media. And I task, like we still do it on BNL, and I task my copywriters. So I'm like, you got to figure out how to make this make sense and to social, because otherwise which doesn't deserve to be on the feed. And so that if I could have a photo sharing app again, which was just photos and just writing, and we all could just like be in choice of reading and all of that, then I would almost step back to that.
Very
And
cool.
that would give me a lot of joy.
So like original Instagram.
Yeah. Which I'm so grateful that I got to start my business with like the OG Instagram before stories and before reels. And so I know what that feels like. Because it was just a little bit softer, and it was really just focused on connecting and engaging with community. There wasn't too much entertainment required. We didn't all have to turn into entertainers. We could just share our passion, and that was that.
Nice.
Love it.
Very cool. If anyone on the call has any questions for Megan, please just raise your little hand icon or put your comments in the chat.
It's the reactions at the bottom.
Yeah, and we'll get Megan to answer those. Otherwise, we're going to keep plugging away with our questions because we have so many good ones for you. And then in about half an hour, we're going to get to pick the brain of some of our other sponsors and healers and vendors who are going to be joining us about our upcoming event. So, we've got a question here.
Oh yeah, baby.
From Kathy and Paul. Come on and
Let's
let
go.
us know your question.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, you guys. Hi, Shine. Hi,
I
Crystal.
love you so much.
Oh, I love you too.
It's been
Yeah.
fun.
Really nice to meet you, Megan. I'm one of those scattered people with the devices, and technology breaks in my fingertips as things go along. And I really got off of Facebook at the beginning, like mid 2020. And I don't know what's happened in 3 years. And I've been trying to look at Instagram, and it's not intuitive to me. How it works. Like, I only go and look at what my daughters put up just to see if I can find it again before it poofs in the air or something like that. And then I end up scrolling through, I guess, what is a feed? And that's the entertainment piece you're talking about. Is that it? Like where you gotta do something brilliant in some way to be worthy of like going through the feed.
Yeah, to beat the algorithm and to be seen and all of those things. Yeah. And it's convoluted with people that you're following, but also with people that you're not following. So again, that would be in my old app Dream. You would just see what you want to see. And you'd see it all.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting a lot of do-it-yourself videos on my feed. Which I'm sending to my 75-year-old sister who's not on Instagram to save them, because I don't know how to do that myself.
There's a lot of buttons on Instagram now. A lot of buttons.
Yeah. And so is there a way to avoid Instagram? Because that's what I keep hearing. Insta.
Honestly, out of all of the platforms, I find that Instagram is like, once people can see how it works is like a connecting tool to an actual in-person scenario, that's when Instagram is loved again. But most of the time when I talk to people, it's like everyone has something bad to say about almost every single platform, but it's very rare that people have like deep hatred for Instagram. Like there's deep hatred across the board for most of the platforms, but not Instagram. And I think it's just very interesting. And like, that's something, of course, we have to listen to, even though sometimes it'd be like, what would a world be like if we didn't have it? Like, how would we connect? These days, like, how would we connect these days? Since it's even replacing phone numbers. Like, it's so fascinating. But yeah, as a business owner, if your target demographic is basically 18 to 65, Instagram is the one that's covering all of it.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Everyone moved.
I hear the word.
So to introduce you a little bit to Kathy and Paul and Megan, I think this will be a really cool test study for us, because they are a big demographic. They are a perfect example of a lot of our demographic in the community, where they are wellness practitioners, they are offering in-person events, and they have a product or products to share. So they're kind of covering a lot of bases. And what I think they have a very beautiful, tight-knit community that does support them, but I'm sure that what's a big pull for them is wanting to reach newer people always and bring in new people and fresh faces. And what would you say for them? Obviously, you know, we know Instagram is a big thing, but for them, they have a website, and other, like, would they be using Instagram to drive people to their website? Would that kind of be or to drive them to Eventbrite for events? Or what would you kind of like, without, you know, I'm sure you would ideally do like, you know, a full, like, I was gonna say a full dig in on, you know, their whole business, but just with that little kind of blurb, how would you say they could use Instagram without just trying to like build the whole thing up, but just to use it as a directional tool to get people to where they want them to be?
Yeah, when it comes to event marketing, it's like a whole other game, as of course you both know. And it requires even more structure than most.
I'm sure Kathy's happy to hear that, Kathy. Even more structure, dear.
Which I'm not a structured person either. But I love, so event marketing, yes, Eventbrite is like, it's your go-to. People are using it, and it's definitely a social platform that's pretty cool and powerful. I mean, I just randomly decided to host an event, and I got 4 people that I have no idea who they are or where they came from. And I was like, oh, okay, Eventbrite is bumping. I will stay here and do something else to see who else wants to pay to come hang out with me. Yeah. But Facebook, I always think Facebook first with events. So always getting the Facebook events up, and then keeping the marketing going over there and just allowing that to be what it will be. Because the power of clicking interested or going is really still very strong. And so you always want that. But Instagram is where you can start getting shares and connecting with the local community that you want to come to the event that maybe has no idea who you are. So creating like those square visuals, and the link in bio is directly to the event during the marketing of the event, so you don't lose them.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's a good point, Kathy. So what you're saying, I'll reiterate and see if I got it. On Instagram, you have your little bio. Kathy and Paul's business is Quantum Life. So Quantum Life is blah, 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 offering this. But when you're promoting an event, and I've never done this and never thought of this, what Megan is saying is switch the bio to say, instead of like, go to my website, like go to Eventbrite for tickets, because it is different. You don't have, on Facebook, you can have like an event page and then your regular page, and people can go there for your regular info. But on Instagram, it's kind of like a one-stop forward-facing kind of place. Exactly. So I love that.
Get one link.
Yeah, so there's one link, and it's like come to, and so then while they're promoting an event they're having, then all their content on Instagram should be like curious about cacao, come
Mhm.
check us out. They offer amazing cacao ceremonies. So if it's like curious about cacao, check out our page, our, what did you call it? Send them to our link in bio.
Click our link in bio. And yes, Linktree is an amazing option. Links.co is also an amazing option.
Nice.
This is a new one that I found that almost is like, I call it a squeeze page in
Okay.
between wherever you want them to go. So you've
Nice.
got call to actions, you've got your events laid out. But if you're marketing a specific event and it's just one event and you just want them to go there, you don't really care wherever, like you don't want them to go
Yeah.
anywhere else,
Yeah.
then you can always have that direct link. But I always like, if you do have an event and you want to still have all of the different things available, make sure the link is for the event is at the top so they
Yeah.
don't accidentally get lost, because people get so distracted. It's just how it does. If you give them too much choice, they will go down a rabbit hole.
They'll take-
They will take all of it. So if the
Yeah.
event is at the bottom of whatever you're trying to get, they won't go there. They'll get lost at the top.
Yeah.
And
Love
in
that.
the bio of your Instagram, you want to be like, join us on, and then put the date. And so it's there. And so like having those specifics, and you just know that that one line changes every time you're doing a new event, and then everything else
Nice.
can kind of stay the same.
Nice.
Yeah, Linktree is a really powerful one, and it's not overly expensive. Same with links.co. It has like 3 I's in it. But it's very intuitive as well. And we played around with that for a little bit. And then there's another one called Stan Store.
Stand store?
Stan, like if it a guy's name, Stan.
Okay.
And then store, and you can actually set that one up so people can make purchases directly through the store. So
Oh,
you don't
interesting.
need a website. You just can have things purchased straight through the Stan store, which is fascinating. Link
Yeah.
straight up to Stripe and you're good to go.
I've really enjoyed actually, and we don't have a link tree or anything like that. And I've really enjoyed when we are having sponsors or vendors or anyone who we're going to be promoting who's part of our events. Often they'll give me one social link or something, and I'll find like it's got a bit of stuff, but I really want to dig in. So I'm like searching for them on all these different platforms, and then I'm finding all their links, and then I'm pulling bits from each one. And I've really enjoyed the people who do have a link tree page. And what that is, Kathy, is it's kind of like a one pager that's like Instagram link here, blah, 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 here, upcoming event here. And it's just, it's literally a tree, you know, a link, a page just with links, and then it branches off to everything. So it's a nice way if you're not kind of sure what people are going to be interested in. Are they interested in the event? Are they interested in the product? Not sure. Here's just one place to go, and then they can decide. So I think it's a great kind of like catch-all. And then of course, like you were saying, Megan, if you kind of do know right now, we just want to be marketing this one thing, that can be confusing, giving them too many choices. So then you just want to send them to the ticket link place. So yeah, I really like that thought for, I mean, we do the same on Instagram. Our Instagram, I feel like, is very a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of everything. And I like the idea of just thinking about it instead of I think about it like Facebook, where we're just connecting with our community and we're sharing stuff and maybe new people come. And I like the idea of thinking of it like a bit more like the first wave, where you're getting new people, because we know the people who already know us, chances are we're already on Facebook with them. Chances are we've already got some community connections. So instead of speaking to them, doing more things like, what is cacao? Interested? Come here. What is a sound bath? Interested? Click here. And just like, you know, the little educational pieces about what these offerings are, how they can benefit us, who we are, but not so much kind of like that community building space that we do so much on Facebook. And I think that's where my mindset has been like, oh, it's a weird different version of where we build community. And if I kind of think of it more like, this is like where we meet new people and find people that are curious and looking for us and following those hashtags. So yeah.
And there's some really great tools with AI that I found that have been so helpful. opuspro.ai or something is a video tool where you put in a YouTube link and it chops up 15 1-minute or so clips with
Amazing.
writing, with like, and
It's subtitles.
and it like makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of, I guess it translates the whole video into words. It then understands those words and tries to put them into some sort of relevant. And it's like, oh, this clip will do well because of it's touching on this point. It gives you a title.
Yeah.
It like auto puts the words as the person is speaking. It like focuses in on whoever is speaking. It's quite spectacular. And so I never did any of the editing because I just can't. And it took that away. And now all I do is when we do a YouTube video or when we finish this, I pop this into Opus, pops out 15 videos, and then I've got my shorts.
It's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever.
You're going to get some after this, Megan.
Yeah.
That's awesome. AI is really going to change the game of marketing for everyone. It
Yeah.
already has,
Yeah.
but it will continue to do so. I mean, even if you don't know how to get on Instagram yet, like
Yeah.
ask ChatGPT and they'll tell you.
Yeah.
They'll be like, here's what you got to do first.
Yeah.
And so it's such an amazing place to be able to watch how this is all changing,
Yeah.
and to leverage it. So
Yeah.
it saves time and money, which is always really good for the solopreneur.
And ChatGPT is the other one that I'm using all the time. And
Yeah.
what that does is it takes text and it understands, and you can ask it questions. And what I did today was I put 3 event write-ups in one after another. I copy pasted 3 event write-ups. And at the top of all that text, I said, make this into a short email. And it gave me like a paragraph and a half with
Amazing.
the key points, well written, links included. I just copy pasted that, boom, into our Eventbrite email. Good to go.
And of course you can edit and tweak it as you want, but yeah, we find Kathy, it's amazing. I highly recommend it. It really, really, especially because you guys have been doing this for so long. So I'm sure you have heaps and heaps of bits and pieces of different write-ups. So it would be easy just to kind of plug
Right.
those in and get them updated for new events, updated
Yeah.
for new information.
You can even like copy and paste, a whole article on PEMF mats or whatever, and say, write this as a blog post from me and focus on these points and and it literally will give you, and you make it do ridiculous stuff. Like I wrote like our early bird was ending in the voice of King Arthur and then in the voice of Borat.
So
and then
it literally
whatever.
writes it like,
It's
thou
hilarious.
shalt take note that thine event shall be.
It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
you can
It's
get
so
it
fun.
to tone of voice, and yeah, you can do so much.
It's
And
really
it's so
funny.
powerful. And that email today was very well done.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, ChatGPT. It just makes things faster because I could do it and you kind of
You
copy
totally
paste and you have to like figure it out. But it was just like, oh, boom,
Yeah.
there you go.
So with all this teaching of how we can do this all ourselves, what are the benefits of hiring an amazing marketing agency
Do you know anyone?
like BNL, and what would be the advantages for people like us and Kathy and Paul, who maybe are like, great, that's all lovely tools out there, but really I just want an awesome person to do it for me.
So I'm so blessed. Like I literally built BNL because I needed the freedom within the structure and I couldn't do the structure. Like I couldn't. And so I delegated everything I couldn't do, which was basically everything other than idea generation. Like I am great at ideas and I could do copy, but I don't like a timeline. So that's how BNL is built. Like it feels like a well-oiled, structured machine that is self-managing. And they're amazing humans. Like, I'm just so grateful that I've been able to like acquire these wonderful unicorns into BNL. And I taught them everything I knew. So they come at it from the vision that I have for everything, but they bring the structure. I have a Danica, I have a Sandra, I have a Tane. Everyone needs all 3 of those. And a Talissa and an Angie, and then a Lyle and a Selena. Selena and Lyle, they do copywriting and graphic design. All of the other ones do strategy and email marketing, and I have the vision, which is like, I'm like the client, and then they're all my people. And I'm very grateful that their capacities are so big that they can navigate me, but also they also hold between 5 to 10, depending on how long they've been with us, clients as well. And it's all about communicating and allowing the entrepreneur to have the vision, but they don't have to have the idea. You can have ideas when you have them, but they will create the ideas while you're not in that space to have them, because they have
Perfect.
so much, they have knowledge of what's going on in the industry. They can dive down into past content that you've created. If there's a secret Dropbox full of photos that you've invested in that has never seen the light of day on social media, it is their dream come true. They can just, and they can create reels and stories and things without you having to be there, because that was my goal, which is very uncommon in the social media world. I'm starting to learn as I hear other people's experiences, is like, we don't wait for clients to like have to tell us what we need to post. We will tell them what we think, and then you can let your creativity fly and be like, actually, I want to do this and I want to do that, and then they'll just move it, but they're the structure, so you can have the freedom. So that's how BNL is built. It's definitely built for creative entrepreneurs and people who like to ebb and flow and go where they need to go, not feel like they have to be stuck doing the social media every day.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like that's something, and we've never hired an agency, but we've kind of had, hired a person to do this and that. And what we found hard was we're kind of like, okay, we want like posts every day. And they're like, okay, great. Give me 7 pieces of content for the week. And we're like, oh, okay. And they're like, and I need it by this time, and I need it to match this thing, and I need it to include this. And we're like, okay. And then we spent all this time producing it, and we're like, so the only part you're doing is hitting post every day? Like, I thought I was hiring you to do this, and I end up feeling like 90% of it I've just done the work, and that was the hard work too. Like, hitting post isn't that hard, and I know I'm sure they had other pieces that they did too, but I feel like that piece of what I love with our tech company when we were building the platform, and we're still building, is we had all these ideas, huge idea people, but we came to them, we're not tech people. We didn't come to them with like a tech manual. We came to them with like a crumpled up ball of paper almost. And we're like, here's our vision. Make something with it. And then they went home, smoothed it out, pulled out the nuggets, asked us questions, figured it out. And they came back the next day with like, this is our thought. Step 1, step 2, step 3. How do you like it? And we're like, oh my God, that's amazing. And that's for me what I would love with social media. It's like, here's my vision. And then someone to go, okay, I think we should do this, 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 and this is how I'm going to do it. And I'd be like, okay, amazing.
Like
Go do
creating
it.
structure out of all the ideas and like building out your content pillars and making sure we're touching on like those marketing goals that need to be met, so that and the creativity can ebb between it. And we've had the blessing of being able to work with a lot of personal brands as well. And with personal brands, there's even more flexibility that's required, because we need to be almost at the pulse of their life. And so like we had one client who went away to Greece for 2 weeks, and she created her reels, and then but then she just sent the video to Sandra, and then Sandra pieced it together, and she did the copywriting. They scheduled it in, they added the trending audio, and they did all that while she was still on vacation and just got to see it go out. And that's how we want our clients to feel, is like, wow, my idea just like turned into this amazing thing, and then it's being seen by everyone, and it makes them feel so happy, and they can just keep going and building their business, because that's where your gift is being with the people and being out in the world. Because if you're an intuitive and if you're an amazing entrepreneur, you're a magnet, and you need to be out there in order for people to find you.
Oh, I love that.
I love that. What are some of the pricing structures? Like, how can people work with you?
Oh gosh, didn't know you're doing that today.
We don't have to.
We can send people to the site, but just to kind of like for them to get a sense, is it like $1 million for Megan because she's amazing?
No,
2 million.
Yeah,
3
exactly.
million.
My whole vision for BNL was to be able to support business owners at every single entry of where they are at the entrepreneurial stage. So like we have one-time strategy sessions. We have like that are structured to like get you set up and just move forward with like kind of the basic foundation of how to do it. And then we've broken up into like 3-packs and 6-packs as well, if you want that mentorship and support for a longer term. So
that's like you teaching them how to do it themselves.
yes, I am happy to give away all our intellectual property. If people want to know how to do it themselves, they totally can. And then when you get too busy, that's when you hire social media management. It's like the only reason you hire social media management in a business is if you don't have time.
Yeah.
You make too much money, you don't have time.
Yeah, it's a part of the marketing budget. And I've learned this over the years when people have hired us because they're scared to do it themselves and they just don't understand and they just need to delegate it so they can keep moving forward. But the problem is like when you're a small business and it's still like your business is still kind of your baby. So it's super connected. The entity hasn't like separated from you yet.
Yeah.
So it's very in tune with you still. So if you separate the Instagram, everyone's going to feel the energy of whoever's running that, and your energy won't be in it. And then it won't be a magnet for what you want to attract because you won't be attached to it. So we try to keep especially our solopreneurs, if they do delegate some things, which sometimes they'll only delegate the graphic design.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll just delegate the posts. Sometimes they'll just delegate the calendars. They'll be like, Danica, can you create me a calendar? And Danica's like, yes. So we have those pieces so you don't have to delegate it all right away. But once people are like, okay, I just don't have time anymore, but I've been running it myself and I understand the basics of like what I want and what needs to happen and what our tone is and like what the visual is and all of those things, then delegation is key. And so I have fully delegated B&L at the extent of like that I can to my team. So they do run it now. They send me the calendars, I approve them. They edit I send them reels, they edit them, post them like that. I run like I'm like a client now because B&L no longer, it's continuing to move forward without me.
Yay, Megan.
It's like
That's a big
amazing.
deal.
Oh, it was emotional. It was an emotional roller coaster to separate my social media from me. I would give it to them and then I'd take it back. And then I'd give it to them and then I'd take it back. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like that client.
Helicopter mom.
Like I wasn't ready. Like I wasn't fully ready to take it away. And so that's why we always have pieces. So the strategy sessions, and then like we have the a la carte. So if people just need support with like graphic design templates that they can leverage, or if they just want support with community building, which is just like building and engaging the following, those are things, or like inbox management, like you can pick and choose. As like if we want support, because we no longer like moving down the line, like you'll just slowly navigate more and more. Yeah, so it's a safe, like it's an amazing digital space with probably the most, we always get compliments on our design work, which I just never thought I would see the day, because just remember the Canva graphics that I started this company with. And I'm like, I just can't believe this is where we're at, but I'm grateful. And she's full-time. And so being able to give a graphic designer full-time support, and she didn't want to be an entrepreneur. She really wanted to be here. And I'm so grateful because our clients get to benefit from like her entrepreneurial level graphic design. And so it's just really cool to have people get the gifts that I get to have every day, watching them do what they do. And yeah, I love it. I'm very grateful.
Love it.
I love that so much.
So it sounds like you'll sort of onboard people and see where they're at, and you try and like start people to figure it out on their own a little bit, find their tone, get some success. And then once they sort of really don't have the time and they need some to hire someone, or for someone else to take it over, then you just you can
Definitely.
more of that.
Yeah. So usually if people are wanting to learn, like we have strategy sessions, they do start around $550, and then they can go up from there. And if you want to pick and choose some pieces through B&L, whether it's graphic designs or support or something like that can be something as low as $100 to $150. So it really is just a huge range. So what we like to do is just chat first and be like, okay, where's the pain point? Where do you want to tear your hair out? And then we can go from there.
If we wanted like 40 pieces of content per day, like every platform, like Gary Vee style, how much would we charge?
Oh gosh, you'd be paying like $10,000 or more.
Really?
Like,
That's awesome.
the time that it takes is shocking. I've tried to make it as efficient as possible. And it's so fascinating to see, like, you know, we always get approvals from clients. Nothing ever goes out without being seen because
Yeah.
it's your business.
Yeah.
And the social media world's just so much more in depth. I used to never get approvals from clients. Again, still don't know how I got here, but it's amazing. I didn't like the structure of having to have the post done at a certain time and then having to send it and then having to get it back. It's so hard.
Yeah.
But now they send it, and
Nice.
yeah, one post can take up to an hour and a half when it's like the graphic designer, the human, the strategist building it out, the chatting with the client if they need edits, like all of those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's very, we've built it down to a science. The numbers are there.
Beautiful.
That's so great.
Yeah.
What do you have numbers on, like the average ROI for the clients?
Well, my client, we don't ask our clients to give us their information.
Yeah.
But we do know, like, clients have been with us for 4 years or more. Our retention's very high, and I only assume that they keep us around if they're still making money. It's usually a good sign. And then there are many businesses that we've worked with that we have supported from the ground up, and I've watched them grow, and like they had no staff and now they have 5 staff. So I know that the Instagram is like the thing that they they boost on it, they run ads through it, like it's just always there.
Nice.
And they keep leveling up their packages and all of those things, so the value is there. And there's so many fun stories that I could tell, but I know we're almost at 8. But we've definitely flipped many brands from being completely unknown in their community to being like the place to go in their community. And that's because the way that I approach it is always like, where are the real humans, and how can we actually get these real humans through this door? And that's like my favorite part, is knowing that we're taking the online world and bringing them to the offline world where community and connection really happen.
Yeah.
And we all know that like community enhances well-being, and we know online is like there's a version of it, but like in real life there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And that's like how I built, the only reason I got into Instagram was because I had no friends in Kelowna. My entire university community left and I decided to stay. So I went to Instagram and started engaging with, like, I guess they were bloggers at the time, because there weren't influencers back then really, unless you were like a fitness model. So, and then I met people, and like, there's some people that are in my life now that, and the experiences that I've had with local businesses that I never would have had if I didn't use Instagram as the tool for me to find them.
I love what you shared there. And I think that's kind of a really key point. A lot of times when we're getting started, like you said, started off as entrepreneurs, and we're trying to figure this out. And of course, we do need to be mindful about where we're putting our dollars and how we can be most effective with our spending. And it can feel easy to hire someone cheap to just kind of make you a few graphics or make you some copy, or that's what you would do before Chat GPT, and now you're going to use that. But to kind of hire someone quickly to make you a few things. And I feel like where the real advantage comes from working with an agency, and where you can get like such exponential growth, is exactly what you said, is that strategy time, is that like really digging in on what is your brand, where are the people who will want what you're offering, and how do we get your message to them? Because some of us may know that, but I think most of us are very, I have no idea, you know, I love to think that I do, but I don't really. And especially when it's our baby, it can feel very close and very hard to be objective like that. So to have someone come in and go, what do you do? That's what you do. What else do you do? That's what else you're offering. That's okay. So based on what you've shared, this is the way to, these are the steps, and I love that idea of getting a bit of that roadmap. And then, like you said, here you go, hand this off, try a little bit of this, see how it goes for you, instead of just building a bunch of random pieces of content and randomly splashing them around and hoping something sticks. And I think that and maybe initially it might be like, oh, it's going to cost more to do strategy sessions. I'm not actually building anything, then I have to go do the work. But I think seeing it really as that long-term investment of getting a bit of a plan. And it's like hiring a business coach. It's like building a proper foundation for your social media, where you can then actually grow it strategically, instead of I feel like even with us, a lot of times our social media is like a bit of this, a bit of that. Oh, I forgot that platform. Let's throw something over there. Let's hope it lands. Hope that's appropriate for that. And I really can see how actually soothing and calming it would be to be like, okay, don't do a little bit of everything. Do this, then that, then this, then this, then that, then a bit more. And I was like, oh, I think that would be really soothing. So yeah, I'm really excited that we've met you. I'm really excited that we get to dig in more with you for ourselves, for Unite. And I'm so excited to be getting to share you with our community, which I think is a great segue into, because we're almost at 8 when we're having a few more of our people coming who are joining us for our live in-person event. And for anyone who's tuned in and doesn't know, who's just tuned in, Megan Shallow here, who we're speaking with, she is one of our event sponsors for our upcoming July 21st wellness event here in Vancouver. Megan is going to be not only having a booth there, so you can come talk to her, meet her team, get your, questions answered, but she's also going to be a 3-pronged participant in the event. So the way we do our Unite events is we really try and break them up into segments. So there's a little bit for everybody, and we're giving a ton of value. So Megan is going to be part of our morning workshop series, where we've got a lovely array. I think we've got, oh, I should remember this, 5 or 6 people offering workshops in the morning, and it's going to be from 8:30 to 11:30. Oh, see if I'm on track here. I need my cheat sheet. 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. And Megan is going to be there giving a little workshop for us on how we can do what. Megan, tell us what the workshop's going to be about.
Oh, what was the title? It's small business growth and finding the joy. The title I can't remember off the top of my head. I know I read it today, but it's finding the joy in building your social media and like being in that place and learning how to do it from and experiencing growth from doing it in that place. So small business marketing, specifically to social media, finding the joy, and it's going to be fun.
Amazing.
In 30 minutes, I can do it. I can do a decent amount.
No, I think we've got you plugged in for an hour, don't we?
Excellent. I can do even more in an hour. That's perfect.
I have to check now, actually. I'm the one who makes the schedule. I can't remember. I think we had you plugged in for an hour, but don't quote me on that. I'm glad you're thinking 30 minutes, then you can expand. So in that hour workshop, how are people going to be getting, like, they're going to obviously hear from you, hear how amazing Instagram is, which is kind of your top pick for really helping funnel people into people's business through social media. Is there kind of, are they going to get some little like experiential things? Are they going to get to practice with some things? What's it going to look like?
Yeah, I'll definitely feel the theme of the room and see where everyone's at, and then try to meet everyone where we're at. And so the foundations will be covered first, how to make sure that people can find you, how to optimize, like all of those pieces. And then going from there of like, okay, what is like seeing where people want to learn and figuring out what everyone's goals are, so that I can kind of navigate and move that workshop towards that. So everyone walks away with tangible items. We do have a social media audit list that we are creating, so everyone can get one of those. You can check it off and be like, okay, I did that. And then following that, of course, we'll have our 10-minute one-on-one strategy sessions that we'll be doing during the speed healing, which I'm super excited for. And I'll be doing those along with Danica. And we may have one other person joining us too, which will be nice, so we can open up the floor. And yeah. And then the talk, I believe, is about building community and connection through the power of social, and just more storytelling through that one. Hopefully. Yeah. So there you go. So you're going to be really getting a chance to dive in with Megan. So workshop in the morning. I really loved one thing that we were talking about on our connection call last week, and talking about how
of course, our brand is Unite, and how we love supporting and uplifting each other, and how through Instagram we can, even just while we're there in the workshop, make sure we all go follow each other. We say we're here at this event. You can see who else is here at this event, and really just using that as a way to kind of almost be like, they're here. Oh, I remember that. Cool. Who was that? Cool. Oh yeah, that was them. Who was that? They were also there at the event, kind of using it a little bit as a board to kind of, a
We'll
connection place. Yeah.
learn how to connect and collaborate through Instagram stories, because that's where the magic of referrals happens. It happens through Instagram stories. So we will do that. That will definitely be homework that people will get at the end of the workshop, that they will then have to practice. And if they get, they can come to our table and ask for help.
Yeah, that's exactly that. I was really excited about that piece, because we do a little bit of that. And I feel like people do a little bit of that at the event, but it's so fun, like after the event, to see everyone's different videos. And of course, everyone makes a video, and it's not just of themselves, it's showing the whole room. And then it's like, oh, they tag them in it, and they were in it, and they were in it, and they were in it. And then it's going to their story and their story. And basically it's like the ripple effect of your social media, and how you don't have to do it all yourself. And that there's actually, by sharing other people's content and tagging other people, that you're all supporting each other. So I love that point. So I'm excited to teach our community about that. I'm excited to learn about that in the workshop. Then, like Megan said, we're going to be moving into our speed healing segment, which is 1 to 4 p.m. And that is our very fun element that I feel is really unique to our Unite events, where think of speed dating. That's where the name came from. And basically we wanted to find a way for our community to get to sample and try and experience a whole bunch of different stuff without having to buy this session for an hour and that session for an hour. And you go to an event, you don't want to have like, 1 full hour just spent with one person, and then you can't hang out with anyone else. So we really came up with this exciting idea of speed healing, where we have an array of healers, and you get to sign up for little 10-minute free mini sessions where you'll try a bit of this and a bit of that, and a bit of Reiki, and a bit of massage, and a bit of counseling, a bit of coaching, and a bit of your little deep dive with Megan, where she's going to just kind of dig in and give you just a mini sample of hearing what you're up to in your social media world, what questions you have, and she's going to give you a couple little plugs and points for how you can just quickly optimize in those 10 minutes. So it's going to be a really great taste and way to start on your path of getting into social media, or optimizing if you already have your social media. And then, like Megan said, we'll be moving into our Unite Talks, which is really fun. I'm so glad that we're getting that back, because actually our very first event together, Shine and I, what was that, 7.5 years ago? Something like that, crazy. That was Dream Talks, and that was our very first event together, and it was a big speaker series we did. And we've done a few little kind of workshop style talks since then, but we've never done a talks where we're introducing many different subjects and many different speakers in little amounts of time, again trying to give you as much juice as possible. So our Unite Talks are from 5 to 7:30, I believe. Don't quote me on all these times, but it is definitely, oh, look at me, I'm so good. And we're going to, I think we've got about 8 or 9 speakers, and we're really looking to, again, give you a lot of value in a little bit of time. So you're not just going to get like, their like life monologue in 20 minutes. And then you're like, oh, that's cool. But what do they actually do? And how does this matter to me? And we're really going to be giving you some tools, giving you some information to up level and support your business or your well-being. So that's going to be super fun. And Megan will be speaking there as well. And then we're flowing right on into the evening, and before and between all these different offerings, we're having vendor breaks where you get to check out all the vendors as well. We've got lots of lovely vendors. And then we're flowing on into the evening, where we're going to be bringing you back to spirit, and we're bringing in an amazing musician, ΑΝΑΝDA, and he is just such a stunning and uplifting musician. He's going to be chanting and singing. He plays beautiful flute, and basically just a wonderful time to integrate all the juice that we've gathered throughout the day. And then of course, more social time after that as well. So that is our full day Unite Journeys experience.
And then,
but wait, there's more. Actually, there is one. I was joking, but if you really do want to deep dive, we are doing the full weekend. ΑNANDA is actually staying with us here in beautiful White Rock. You can hear the birds singing. You can almost hear the ocean. And he's going to be doing a deep dive full weekend workshop. And we're going to be having a lovely party in the evenings. So do make sure, if you want any kind of awesomeness that weekend, reach out and we'll plug you in. So yeah.
And to anyone who's trying to get on, apparently the link on Facebook was to last week. So you have to go and just find like the post on the thing, and I can't change it because it's whatever.
I'm so sorry, everyone. Yeah, you can't change once the event has started. It won't let you change it. But I'm glad everyone who's here made it here. Anyone who's not here, we apologize. And yeah,
it's all good.
So I think, do we want to take a minute to introduce the rest of the people on the call for the event? I want to say thank you so much, Megan. You don't have to go anywhere, but thank you for that wonderful deep dive. For everyone who just tuned in and missed it, don't worry. We will have a recording and you'll be able to hear all Megan's amazing tips and tricks. And like I just said, get to come in person on the 21st and really just dig in. And I love when it's in person, because I'll be one of those like hand up, like answer my questions, help me. And you really get to like, you know, shape it for what you're looking for. So I think that's going to be so fun for everyone. So yeah, shall I carry on? Okay, so like we said, Megan is our one of our sponsors, and our other amazing sponsor for this event is Paul and Kathy with Quantum Life. Hello, darlings. Thank you for joining us and helping us dig in on social media. And now we would love to have you share a little bit about what you're going to be bringing to the event, your magic, and yeah, what else you do in the world and how people can play.
You want to talk about that?
Well,
you know, we love coming to your events. We usually get that nice spot and get ourselves set up with a PEMF mat and get everybody, you know, sleeping better that night. And Paul's
but wait, Kathy, what's a PEMF mat? I don't know.
Yeah, we're distributors, long time distributors of Swiss Bionic Solutions pulse electromagnetic field mats, the IMRS and the Omnium, and they are Health Canada certified devices. So they do a whole bunch of stuff, like they're certified to reduce aches and pains, increase blood circulation, and we're just in the process of recertification, and we're adding heals non-healing wounds and heals old bone fissures because it excites calcium. Once you get things working on a cellular level, the whole body remembers what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so in terms of detox, nutrition intake, and proper charge on your cells so that they bounce along and not clot.
Yes.
You know, that we all know about clotting now. And so we're not going to do that anymore. And then we also teach something that we've been doing for as just about as long. Actually, all of our things came into our lives. You know, the synchronicity of stuff coming in, and you're like, you're doing it all at once. And then, you know, it all finds its place. We found out about cacao, and we'd already been into many healing modalities as we were looking for a place to land as an instructor. Something that resonated with us. So we did all kinds of people and ended up you know, they're different things, and ended up with quantum touch because it uses breath. And so it's, you know, energy, breath, and love, and you can't beat the combo. And so over the 12 years of teaching those workshops and doing private, you know, demonstrations and sessions for people, Paul has become quite a master at, you know, tapping in to someone and helping them out. And a lot of people have very profound experiences, even in just a short session. So it's not like you have to come to a big, you know, private session or a group or a workshop or anything like that. What we're doing at Shine and Crystals events is a lot of experience for some people. They walk away for a while going, what was that? What was that? Just before we came into these kinds of things in our lives, I discovered cacao journeys and hooked up with the gentleman who does Keith's Cacao
Mhm.
in Guatemala on Lake Atitlan, Keith Wilson, I believe his last name is. And so I recently, just for the heck of it, last summer, I took his course. And the course was actually everything he told me in an email at the end of 2010, only it's now branded and organized. Like he got himself a Megan Shallow and found out how to make it big. And so, like Keith was always brilliant, right? And all those years went by where he struggled getting his beans out to people and getting a fair, deal for himself and the natives who were helping him with this. And it just goes to show you that, once your cohesion comes in and you get that kind of marketing and branding happening, that you can really start to fly. And, Paul and I, we loved what you had to say, Megan. And we also have that belief in everything always at its own time. And so it's like, some people say, you want me to just like post out your cacao journey for you guys? And it's like, no. The only one who's supposed to be there. And we're really still there in some ways, because we feel like we're coming into a deeper cohesion on a personal and our branding, who we want to be. And we don't want everybody. We want just who wants to be there with us, right? And that's and that can be really, and that's where I believe you need someone like Megan to help hone that once you've got some things in place. And we're really close, Megan. And we're one of those people, we're older, we're elders, we're, that kind of thing. And so we're website people, gotta have that website. And so we're working on a website upgrade, and people love our website. A dear friend does our website, but once it's finished, it's like clear we have to make those moves. And really the only thing we've really done locally for years is work with Shining Crystal in any kind of marketing capacity other than our own. We really haven't reached out to anyone in any kind of way to co-create or to hop on their event or their anything, because in some ways we just want to keep our own brand so clean that we're just joining. What Crystal and Shine do is perfect for us, because they're inviting all kinds of people like that to the table, and then you're just amongst peers, right? And it's and you've got your thing and you do your thing, and that's that. And we love that about doing those events. Yeah.
Aw,
I feel honored.
yeah.
And may I say, you appear youthful and vibrant. My gosh, you said elder, and I thought, oh, geez, you're so beautiful, both of you. Like,
I'm
just,
60.
And our accountant go, they're like, you
yeah, you're getting younger.
It was so
We're
It's
both
beautiful.
we're both qualified for the Canadian pension plan, so we're at least high, right?
So they are walking examples of all their amazing
product.
Yeah, exactly.
technology. If
Exactly.
anyone ever has the divine pleasure of being invited into their home, it's like Willy Wonka factory, but with like wellness devices. It is just ridiculously cool. So yeah,
Thank
highly
you.
recommend. They're the kind of people that, for me, when we talk about Unite and our platform and how information overwhelm in the wellness world, and you're like, I don't know what to do and what works, and there's just so much information. And what we say we want to do with our platform is basically have it so okay, I know Shine's a nerd about this thing, I'm going to follow him and he's figured it out. And for me, I'm so grateful we have Paul and Kathy in our life, because I'm like, I don't need to know what's the best PMF mat. I know they're nerds, they've figured it out, whatever they say goes. I don't need to know which light is best, the Ajna light, whichever. There's so many lights. I'm like, which brand? I'm like, they have figured it out. They've done that because they're total nerds in the best sense of the word. They really care to find the quality technology, and they're the kind of people in our community that I really see as leaders in their lane. And I'm so happy to be a follower behind you in your lane, because it's like, oh, I don't need to think of, we've got Megan in her lane. I'll follow her all the way to town. I'll follow Paul and Kathy all the way. And we really love that with Unite, is taking away a little bit of that I have to do it all myself, solo entrepreneur, trailblazer, figure it out. And the more we can pile up behind each other in each other's lanes, the less we have to be driving 18 million roads ourselves. So I'm so grateful for the work that you guys do in the community. I'm so honored that you choose to be a part of our events.
I know, I didn't know that. That's fun.
Yeah. And everyone literally comes out of Paul and Kathy. So like they said, they're going to be part of the speed healing, where you're going to be able to try out mini sessions with them. That's from 1 to 4 p.m. And make sure you get your tickets early, because we do have limited slots, and every speed healer only has, I think, 11 slots in that time frame, because I'm giving everyone like a little break, one 20-minute break, because all the healers are like, whoa, that was 3 hours, I'm pooped. So now I've scheduled in a little break so they can have like a bathroom break. But really, they only have probably about 11 sessions to offer. So make sure you get your tickets and get in there early so you can get a session with Kathy and Paul. And like I said, everyone who comes away, they're kind of a little bit like, I don't quite know what that was, but like I highly recommend, if you book a session with them, book yourself, don't like book a back-to-back session with someone else, like give yourself a few minutes just to be like integrate, because it's everyone has their own experience, but I just think it's so profound, and just to get to experience what they offer. And yeah, just thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. We're happy to be there. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to dig in more with everyone in a minute, but we just want to introduce all the different people that are on the call, because some of them have to go. So I know Kira, our darling Kira, is also one of our, are you here, sweetheart, or did we lose you? Oh, there you are. Kira is going to be one of our workshop practitioners in the morning. So we would love to hear from you, darling, about what you're going to be offering. Kira is also, for my little intro, our long-standing, it feels long-standing now, although I don't think it's been that long, but she's had such a profound impact on our lives. She is our star volunteer coordinator. She shows up. She's the first one there in the morning. She holds space. She's actually allowed us, like Megan was talking about earlier, surrounding yourself with unicorns who mean that we don't have to do all the pieces ourselves. And Kira is such a unicorn, and actually allowed us to not have to be the first one in the morning and the last one there at night. And she's allowed us to actually like sleep in a little bit on event day, not much. I normally don't sleep much, but get like those final event tasks done at home and show up to the event a little bit after it starts, which is just like a huge blessing. So she just holds that space. She holds such kind, loving space for all our vendors and healers, make sure everyone has what they need. And now she is stepping in, stepping out, branching up into offering her own workshop and being really shining her light even brighter for our community. So Kira, please share what you're going to be offering our community.
Sure. Thank you very much. I'm so glad I can pop in. I have a short time while kids are occupied. I am I'm at work, so to speak, a 24-hour duty work at the moment. So what I'm going to be doing at the event is offering a workshop talk on parenting peacefully, even though when it feels like you're at war. So I work especially with single parents coming out of relationships not through the conscious uncoupling, which is still a minority case, to really help the parent and the children to try and heal through what they've been through, either while in the relationship or the process of exiting the relationship, and to help them come together, because often the power dynamics shift heavily, and the children often have power over the single parent due to the parent's nervous system being like dysregulated and just disempowered, due to the parent not wanting to put the child through any more struggle because they've been through so much already. Like there's a multitude of things that are going on, but the parent does need to still be that leader for the child. So we look at what their blind spots are. I worked with one mom, and she just couldn't get why her kid couldn't feel passionate about anything until
Mm,
she realized they have to realize that she wasn't showing them what passion looked like
Mm.
herself. They hadn't seen her in the moments of just, flow bliss
mm,
of that for herself. And another mom I'm working with, she has an issue. The children are running all over her because she has a core wound about the discipline from her own childhood,
Mm.
irrespective of the trauma they went through in her, recent relationship. So I help to find what those blocks are, what those blind spots are, and then we look at how we can support some very practical strategies and things that we can put in place that help the parent feel empowered and the children to have their empowerment as well, to have their own agency, because we often really neglect to see how much children are capable of even from a young age and how much they're aware of. So when they're given some tasks to do and show that they can actually contribute, they even from 9 months, they will change their behavior in order to make their parent feel better. They are just so perceptive. And
mm,
so when we give them tasks that can show that they're being contributing, it just changes so much.
mm.
So that's what we're going to be talking about on the workshop. And children are welcome. You can bring your littles. I'll have a basket of a whole tote of toys that they can occupy themselves with, and I'll have a helper who can support minding them. So yeah, so hope some parents, whether coupled or not, can come and, like I said, bring the kids, and we'll have a good chat and talk about how we can create some new routines or strategies and ideas for making some harmony in the home. Give everybody hope again.
Beautiful. I love that. So, and that's a good point. Of course, like you said, you specialize with single parents and ones that maybe have had a messy uncoupling, but are those kind of, I'm sure a lot of those principles can really support a not a co-parent, a dual parent family as well, where there's not those messy pieces, but I'm sure there's all those dynamics still come up and are still in place. So those parents
There
could
can
still have a lot of
there
benefit.
can still be, those kind of challenges and traumas, even if they're coupled. I mean, this other things will apply to, say, military families where,
Mhm.
they're, in essence, single parenting,
Yeah.
even though they're still coupled, right? Or long distance truck drivers, for example, or an immigrant parent who's here and the other partner is still abroad, right? There's
Yeah.
a lot of ways to look at single parenting,
Yeah.
that there can be trauma involved. And it's not just from abusive relationships, but it could be from separation, or getting used to a new country, and that's traumatic for kids and the parents alike. So there's different circumstances, and even for coupled families, they still can find, oh my God, what do I do with my child?
Well,
Right.
and even, with one parent at work full time, there's
Yeah.
really, for a large part of the waking day when the children are awake, that parent is a single parent.
Yep.
So all those pieces can still apply. And I'm sure a lot of that guilt piece can then come in for that parent who's maybe away a lot, that then they're overcompensating when they're showing up because they feel like they only have an hour with them. So to have boundaries or to ask for respect
Yeah.
or anything like that can be a lot harder as well if they've got that guilt piece. So yeah.
Very
Wow.
true.
Well, thank you for doing that work for our community. It's really, really so needed. As a parent myself, I so appreciate that you're offering this. I feel like I went through all my own version of this as a single parent for many, many years. And I really would have loved the support from someone like you. And I got some peer support, but peer support is really, it's peer support. They're doing their best too. They have their own perspectives
Right.
and they have their own takes. So to get kind of more of a broader support with some actual tools and helpful ideas for how to navigate, I think is just so wonderful for our community. And Kira's going to be offering her workshop first thing in the morning. So that's going to be from 8:30 to 9 a.m. at the St. James Community Square. So if you don't have kids and don't feel like that's for you, don't worry. you can still come sit and enjoy, or just come on in right after
Yeah.
that.
Or if you've got one on the way.
Or if you've got one on the way, and actually really, if you have any friends or family who have kids too,
Nieces,
just having-
nephews.
yeah, being able to be, sometimes some of the best parenting advice can actually come from non-parents because they're not so deep in it too.
Or
So
if you have a rascally team of social media managers.
Well,
yeah,
it's funny, but really we need to look at our children as little humans. There's some
Yeah.
things that don't change.
exactly. And really learning, healthy boundaries and how to navigate our trauma and how to, ask for what we need. Sometimes it maybe seems more intense when it's from a live human 2-year-old, but really I often feel like our business is a needy baby too. So learning those boundaries is
Yeah,
really
we might need to show up for ourselves.
yeah, I
with our,
know, Kira needs some help with this toddler.
Unite keeps us up at night.
It does, it really does. Feed me, take care of me.
Sell some tickets.
I don't want to go to bed.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's going to be the workshops in the morning. For all these offerings, all these segments, you can come just for that. If you've only got a few hours in your day, you can come for just any one of these components. So we're selling the tickets all separately for that. Or if you are willing to give yourself a full day immersive, juicing yourself up and really getting connected, come for the full day. It's way, way cheaper. It's going to be amazing. You get to really integrate.
So worth it.
You can
And
obviously
you think you're going to be tired, but you're not.
you think exactly right. I've had some people be like, I haven't been out to like, because literally coming from 8:30 a.m. till some people, we have to be out by 11:30 p.m. because they put the alarm on, but like we are like kicking people out at that point because we're like, sorry, like we really have to go. And so people are like, the last time I was out for like 14 hours at an event, I thought I was gonna die, and I am so juiced up. Like, do I have to go home? Like, can't we sleep over? So it really, really, we work so hard with our events to structure them in a way that you're growing and expanding and having time to integrate and recharge and nourish yourself. There's healthy food from Eternal Abundance going to be available from all the healing sessions, everything, just really making it so that you get the most out of this and you're not feeling wiped by the end. So yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day. Thank you for sharing, Kira. We're so excited to have you with us in this expanded capacity. And I'm really excited for everyone to learn a little bit more about this, because I think if we can learn these skills to have boundaries, love ourselves, support ourselves in parenting and out of parenting, the whole world will be a much better place. And if we can teach this to our kids, like the next generation is just going to be so much better off. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We love and appreciate you.
Yeah, so much for real. Seriously. Oh my God. So many.
If you see her
times.
at the event, please hug her.
Yeah.
She's open for hugs. Say thank you. If you appreciate the event, know that she's a big part of it.
Yeah.
So squeeze her, love her, hug her.
So amazing.
Yeah, let her know she's doing awesome.
Give her free stuff.
Yeah, whatever you can do, like
Pass
just
her some money.
yeah,
Whatever.
Just
Feed her.
juice her up. Juice her up. Yeah. Thank you, darling. We appreciate you tuning in. I know you've got to run off back to walking your talk and raising some little humans. So thank you. Bye, darling. I think up next we have our amazing Jonalyn, and she is going to be also doing a lovely little morning offering for you. Jonalyn has been a vendor with us. She's been a healer with us. She's an amazing human. So take it away, darling. What are we going to be experiencing from you?
Oh, well, hello. And first of all, I just want to say every time I come on one of these calls and see you guys, my heart just goes and lights up. So nice to see you and all these other lovely smiling faces. What I'm going to be doing is a short little talk on our amazing hearts. They're so amazing, and coherence. So I'm going to pull a little bit from science. So 21st century, super cool stuff that's been coming out in the last 10 to 15 years. And then we're going to get a little ancient with some Chinese medicine. And that's kind of what I do in my mind body healing practice, is a lot of new science and ancient healing. And then we're going to talk about coherence, what it is and how we get into it, and how that really helps to support our physical health and our well-being. And then we're going to touch a little bit on energy, frequency, and vibration, my favorite things to geek out and talk about and love on, and how that is with the heart, how that is with our heart and interactions with people around us, out to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. And then we will do a nice little exercise that will get us into coherence and help us just carry on with that beautiful frequency in our heart for the rest of our day.
Love
There
that.
we go.
Thank you. Helping everyone prime and set themselves up for success. Beautiful. Yay.
I'm so excited. I'm so sad I missed the other ones, and I'm really looking forward to coming and jamming and meeting and connecting with everybody again. It's going to be so good.
Right. Oh, I love just getting to charge up with everybody. I feel like we miss our community so much. And if we could, we would host events on the regular, like at least weekly, these kind of big events. And we're working towards that. The more, funding we can get in, the more support we can get in, the more we're not doing this just on our own. It's just so needed to have this kind of regular touch in. And yeah, it's just, I know exactly what you mean. Just getting to come and, hug other humans, ones you know and ones you don't know. Sometimes people are like, I don't know anyone there. Am I going to just be like off on my own? And I'm like, nah, like our community is going to be like, you look new. What do you do? How can I support? Or like, give you space if you want. But really, it is just such a inclusive community that we've created. And there's so many people that I feel really have a sense of proprietorship, is that right? Proprietorship, like ownership of the space as well, that they really get the vibe. They're helping us set the tone. And it's so wonderful for us to feel like we're not the only ones kind of leading the way. We've got this, beautiful flock of angels behind us and beside us that are helping to set the tone for these events. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Come for the morning workshop, get a piece of Jonalyn. She's amazing. And yeah, and you'll be there throughout the day and people can come check you out and hang out and get to meet you. Are you doing speed healing?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do some more speed healing, and yes, appreciate the break. That's going to be amazing.
Right? Yeah, that was some feedback. It's really funny. Like I mean, of course, but you don't know until you know. And the speed healing has been something that we kind of thought of on a whim. Actually, Heather, who's on the call right now, was a big inspiration for me for why to start the speed healing. She was a vendor, has been a vendor with us for years and years and years.
Right since pretty much the
probably
beginning.
One of our first longest vendors.
You at Dream Talks, Heather?
Were you at Dream Talks?
Yes. Oh yeah, at the planetarium and all that too.
Yeah,
the talks at the
Playhouse. I don't know if she was at the Playhouse.
Okay, but the planetarium we actually had before.
No, I was at those. Yeah. Vince Millardo told me about you guys.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, cool. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Since the beginning.
Yeah. So we'll hear from you in a moment. Because Heather is also going to be an amazing vendor, but I wanted to just touch back on, for me, Heather was there doing amazing, offering massage. And I was like, it's sad though. The event's only so long, so she can only help this many people. And there's lots of other practitioners the same, like if they do 1 hour sessions, they can only see so many people. How can more people benefit from this offering? And we really came up with this, and we had some other vendors as well who were maybe not quite as successful as Heather, and they would be there and they didn't have anyone booking their like 1 hour sessions at the event, because a lot of people, especially for massage, it is nice sometimes to get a deeper dive, but a lot of times if someone only offers a 1 hour thing, you come to an event, you don't want to just spend 1 hour with one person, you want to check out a whole bunch of stuff. So that was for me one of the inspiration pieces for creating the speed healing, was how can these healers who really what they want to do, yes, they want to make a bit of money and make some new clients, but really they want to share their offering with many different people and be able to meet many different people. And that's what we got with the speed healing, was how can we do these kind of short little mini sessions where people are going to get a chance to try this out and experience it without needing to commit to full long sessions, without needing to go to their house or go to their office and really get a sense of people. So Jonalyn, what are people going to be getting from you in one of your 10-minute healing sessions?
I'm going to be sharing, I have a bunch of their elemental resets. So Chinese 5-element theory, we have 5 elements we work with. And so I'm going to be taking people through a reset, but it's going to be depending on which element needs a little bit of balancing. So a little chat, and then I'm going to take them through the reset. So it's very good on the nervous system and really great, just physical, body, mind, spirit, like it's like boom, and just a little reset.
I love that. I think that's going to be very, very powerful for people. A lot of feedback that we've got from the participants experiencing the speed healing is they would come in their first time a little skeptical, like, what on earth can I get in 10 minutes? Like, you know, like normally I go to a therapy for an hour or an hour massage. How can I get something in 10 minutes? And what they don't realize, and even the practitioners don't realize, sometimes they'll too, if they haven't done the speed healing before, they'll be like, I can't create any value in 10 minutes. And what we let people know is it basically is a cumulative, I hate that, cumulative effect that people are experiencing at these events. So instead of you show up at a session and you need to kind of open up and ground and drop in, you've probably already done that at one of the previous sessions. So people are already so open, and then each layer, each offering is kind of playing one upon the other. So, and I think of it like a little bit like those choose your own adventure, like paperback novels, where you're like, oh, what's behind this door? What happens if I go this way? So for the speed healing, you are not going from station A to station B to station C. You are choosing where you want to go, and then choosing your next one, and then choosing your next one. And that's allowing you to kind of pick your experience and tailor it to yourself. So I think this is going to be, make sure you check out Jonalyn. Like I said earlier, every healer only has about 11 sessions. So make sure if you see something you like on this call, we're giving you 15 minutes before the speed healing starts to go sign up. We're not doing early signups at this point before the event, because then there's complications in that as well. So 15 minutes before the speed healing at 12:45, come and beeline for the people that you want to see for sure, because their sessions will fill up, and then you'll be sad. Although we really hopefully encourage all our practitioners to be able to offer some kind of online follow-up if you miss them, that you can, maybe still get a session or an intro with them after the fact as well. So yeah. There's Jonalyn. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And one thing I would love to share for anyone watching in the replay, if you're going to do the speed healing, hydrate yourself, really help you to integrate all those shifts and everything coming into your body. That's like a beautiful thing for anyone to have for their healing.
Love it.
Great reminder. Thank you from a healer to all of you. Hydrate at the event. Bring your water bottles. Make sure you fill that up and stay hydrated so that you get to integrate. Thank you, darling. Okay, we are going to hear from Heather next, who we just met a moment ago. And Heather is, like we just shared, one of our longtime vendors. And yeah, share what people can experience when they find you at our event, Heather.
Well, thank you for letting me in. And I was applauding my own persistence, because sometimes I was like, why isn't it working? But I finally got the right link. I ended up in some other meeting, but anyway, that's done. yeah, I'm just happy to be here and connect. And I'm always so grateful to Shine and Crystal for all that they do, and just to bring people together with this vision and all this juicy stuff. I was really excited about Jonah Lynn's offerings, and I relate to the East-West focus in some of my offerings. So yeah, I'm happy to be meeting her there. And you were talking about the speed healing. I was one of those that was a bit skeptical, because I do pretty long sessions, and I also offer different modalities. So I kind of cheated on the last one, and I only allowed people to book 2 spots so I could get some of the massage, which you mentioned, but also the EFT tapping, which I'm really very keen on, and it combines well. So I also wanted to share about how I got rid of some of my skepticism about it being too short, even with the 10-minute massage. I just had a call from someone who got one of those 10-minute speed healings from me. And I'm now booked to give her guy a 2-hour massage on the beach, on Kitts Beach on Saturday under a tree. I'm so excited to do it. But that was based on a 10-minute, she said, oh, I just thought that was so great that when my boyfriend was hurting and needed a massage, I thought you're the only one I want to call. And then even though it was quite a while ago, they get the information.
That's so great. So nice to hear.
Oh, thank you for that testimonial. That's really lovely to hear. And that it wasn't even, she's not even booking it for herself. She's booking it for someone else. But that's right. Exactly the point that we're working to educate our practitioners on, is this is really a calling card. This is really an intro. Like, think of this like a really long business card, a 10-minute business card.
A free sample of the grocery store.
Exactly. It's your free sample where people are really getting to know who you are, what you feel like, what your strength is as a masseuse, what you're offering. And in any modality, like, they're really getting a taste of who you are. And so much of everything that all our healers offer is so personal. It's very sensitive to let someone into your field and to do any kind of hands-on or even energetic healing on you. No one's going to, hey, Google, where do I go to for this? And then, go wherever Google says. It's always going to be a personal recommendation. And it really is such a lovely testimonial to hear that even though it was quite a while ago, she remembered you. She thought of who do I trust? Who do I want to go to? And you're the one that came up. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Aww.
Yeah. So I'll be offering the same sort of thing on the 21st. And yeah, so that people can have a chance to have that more holistic experience with me, where they, if they've got anything going on, anything that's disturbing them, we can do some work with that, with the tapping. I don't know if you're all familiar with the EFT tapping, but I haven't met anyone like me that's combined it as much with the massage and shiatsu that I do. It's a real mind-body thing. I feel like, I can work with people from the outside in and the inside out. And they just, the thing that people say after, like, even big hefty guys like Shine, that they say, that they feel like there's like 20 pounds lifted off their shoulders. They just feel light and free. And I just love getting that feedback, because there's, moving so much stuff, like the muscular tension, but also the heavy emotional energy that's stuck in there. So yeah, I'm excited to be offering that again. And I've kind of worked out an arrangement with Shine and Kelly, Shine and Crystal. So I'm glad you accommodate that, where I can actually do more extensive work with people on the same day. I have kind of a space set up there, as well as a vendor, as well as doing the speed healing. So I do kind of half the speed healing, and then the other time I'm going back to doing the sessions in in the corner I have. So
Yeah, so for clarity for anyone who doesn't know, so all the speed healers are just there for the speed healing time, and they pay a smaller fee to be at the event, and they're just there for the shorter time to offer the little samples, and then our vendors are there all day, and that's when Heather is able to offer paid sessions as well. So if you're considering whether you want to be a vendor or a speed healer, that's kind of one of the differentiating pieces, is if you have something that you want to sell or you want to offer paid sessions, then a vendor is a more appropriate choice for you. And yeah, otherwise just come play and we'll help you figure it out. So thank you, everyone. I think we've got one more person here who's going to be part of our event.
Wong from Chi Life.
Yeah, are you here with us, David? We see your, oh, there you go. Hi. Amazing. Thank you for joining us, David. So David is going to be a vendor and speaker with us, and he is going to be offering a wonderful talk in the Unite Talks portion from 5 to 7:30. And take it away, David. What are you going to be offering in the talk? What are you going to be touching on? And then what are you going to be having available for people to check out your amazing magical tools throughout the day?
Sure. So I'm David Wong. I'm an inventor. I'm a engineer, software developer. I've been running Chi Life for 5 years. We have tens of thousands of clients throughout the world. So basically, we create technologies that heal. And you may have seen these before. It's called Chi coils, and they have been very useful for anything. So the idea is to be able to transform yourself 1% a day, and to be able to do it with just technology. So I was thinking, instead of personally healing people with my own hands, why not create a technology so that they can just heal themselves at their home, right? And then the whole family can benefit from it. So my story was that I was chronically ill for 10 years of my life with incurable disease, which is ulcerative colitis, autoimmune disorder. And I suffered, I had internal bleeding, I was fatigued, and I was depressed for 10 years. And I was wondering whether I was ever going to get out of that dark time in my life. And I was very, very angry because all the medication that the doctors prescribed me, they gave me side effects and didn't work, and they were very expensive. So I said, there's got to be a better way. And I tried different naturopathic medicines. I tried herbal medicines, TCM, and nothing actually healed me. I mean, I had to change my diet, but nothing healed me. I still suffered every day from pain and from fatigue, until I started to experiment with some frequencies and with some coils. And long story short, in 90 days, I was able to heal myself completely. So all the symptoms were gone. Basically, it proved all the doctors wrong, because doctors said, you're going to have to live with this with the rest of your life. And that's what they tell everybody, right? With autoimmune disorder, they don't know what to do. There's no cure for it. You just have to take medication for the rest of your life. Same with basically any kind of disease out there, right? That's what they tell their patients to do. But now I was able to do that. Not only that, I was able to transform myself, my mental health too, right? So I became I have a lot less stress. I was able to sleep. I had a lot more optimism. I had a lot more energy, creativity. So I use all my skills in creativity and energy, newfound energy, to now build a company. And we, like I said, we have 30 people on the team. We work with the top doctors in the world right now. We work with the top influencers, chiropractors, surgeons, athletes, celebrities throughout the world, now using our products, from everything from just regular getting better sleep, de-stressing, to even people who have cancer. We have several cancer success stories who were at stage 4 cancer, and they don't have cancer anymore. Right. So it's really quite powerful. The next thing we're working on, actually, we just launched, is something called Frequency Method, which is a program to help autistic, learning disabled, and ADHD children to excel in school. Because once you're labeled with autism or ADHD, you're put into a group of people, and they basically say, you don't have the opportunity to excel in school as a regular kid, and your life is screwed from that point on. So what we did was, actually, we took a class of 26 students, and they were grade 2 students, and they were the lowest in the state of Texas. They had the lowest performing because they had learning disabilities and all sorts of different things that they labeled them with.
Wow.
We used our frequencies and our technology. And then we also implemented a math algorithm system to teach them how to do math really easily. In 4 months, we were able to get them to the top 1% performance in the state. So we reversed the numbers. We went from the bottom 20% up to the top 1% in 4 months. And people come to those classes and they say, you know, we've been trying to get these autistic children to talk for years. How are you able to get them to go in front of the class and teach the class in just 4 months? So they're in awe. And so now we have this program, we have a system, and we are basically launching it out to as many schools as possible. We're working with SDC, which is the foundation here, charity here in Vancouver. They have 3,000 students and they have 20 classes, and they're all of these autistic children. And now they want to put our technology with all their programs because they said this is revolutionary. There's nothing out there that helps the kids with these mental health issues and learning disabilities, right? So even if kids don't have learning disability, even if you're smart, basically 99% of kids out there have anxiety, they have depression, and they have social emotional problems. And not only that, is that the teachers are burnt out and teachers are stressed out, and something about 40% of them are thinking about quitting because of all the stress. So what this technology now does, and we've already done, is to calm everybody, even the teachers, de-stress everybody, elevate the energy in the physical energy, mental energy, and positive energy in the entire room. So you see this big coil behind me. It's called a Chico Aura. It covers 3,000 square feet. So we put these in the classes. It's silent in the background. They don't have to implement anything. They don't have to change anything they're doing. They just put this and then turn it on. That's all they have to do. So that's the big one. And we have the small ones, which you may have seen, Chico Mini, which are personal ones that you can use on yourself or on your clients. So that's my story. And I'm going to also be talking a little bit about my book, Life of Chi, talking about my healing journey, about the science of life force. We're all in the healing space, but a lot of people don't understand. A lot of the traditional conventional medicine, they don't understand that there's a lot of scientific experiments done regarding energy healing, remote healing, chi energy, and so on. So this book includes experiments done over the last 100 years, and we show, and we fuse the modern technology, which is what we call PMF therapy. Have you heard of PMF therapy? So we call this the mobile PMF therapy device. Nice. And we also use this RIFE frequencies, RIFE. Some of you healers might have heard of that. So we combine all the new modern technology and science with the ancient knowledge that has been around for tens of thousands of years.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's so cool. I didn't know you're up to that much stuff.
We get to learn something new about our presenters. Well, there you go, guys. So we really worked with this event. We have been sharing a little bit that we're working on fundraising for our Unite platform. So this might be our last event for a minute. So we really wanted this event to be a wonderful showcase of just all the amazing stuff that's happening in our community. And David, we're so excited to be having you with us, sharing what you're offering, and really giving people a chance to check out the wonderful tools that you've developed and learn more and learn how they can support and yeah, just help spread the word. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun.
You're welcome. Excited.
Paul.
Huh?
Paul.
Oh, you have something to add in, Paul, darling?
Tell us.
You and I, we hopped all over the place, Crystal, and I never did say what Paul was going to be doing with people.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you for bringing us back around. Thank you. Yes, I did get a little all over, didn't I?
What I was doing, and I was like, sorry, we were talking all over the place, so let's get him in. He loves doing what he does for people, so we should give him a little promo burst of what he
Yes,
gets
please.
on.
For sure. So for anyone who just tuned in, Paul and Kathy are some of our amazing event sponsors. They are part of, their company is Quantum Life. They are going to be there all day as vendors. They are going to be there as healers and speed healers and offering their magic PEMF mats. And Paul is going to be offering his
Quantum touch.
Quantum touch.
yeah, quantum touch. So tell us, Paul, what is quantum touch? Why is it awesome? And why does everyone need to sign up for your sessions?
Yeah. Well, it's getting really excited because also the field that's going to be created with all these amazing people is always incredible, right? So people just walking in are going to be changed.
Right?
We had a woman come to our house for a party, and she walked through the door and she said, I've had sciatica and it's like I drove up in pain. As soon as I walked through the door, it went away. She was like, what?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That
A field.
field.
Yeah.
Well, I got thinking what would be really cool. What Kathy and I will be doing is that when you lay on a PEMF mat, within 8 minutes, every cell in your body, all 70 billion of them are charged in 8 minutes. And if you even do blood analysis, the before and after are strikingly different.
Wow.
In 8 minutes. And so to charge people up on that kind of level, then what I will do with the quantum touch, right? And Kathy and I will talk about it because we also work together, is we can help you align the spine and the neck and the vertebrae and the skull in a pretty short.
No pushing though.
No pushing, all energetic. It's called an energetic alignment, like stuff people who've had ongoing chronic issues for years, like gone, and it's amazing.
Can you hear some like pops and cracks without touching people?
Yeah, people, like people, you can hear, all kinds of crazy cool stuff happens.
So crazy.
Yeah, we can help. There's a lot happens in an amazingly short time, but
I love it.
we always tell people, if you look at a tree and you cut it, right, and you see the circles, cross section of the tree, right? Someone that knows what they're looking at can tell you the whole history of that tree.
Yeah.
Oh, this year, right? That year there was bugs. This year it was cold. That year it was very windy. Oh, here's the drought. And knots. Whoa, that was really tough year. Well, our bodies are the same way. We have the history of our life in our body. And when we change the relationship to our bodies and what we're holding and what we're carrying, our whole life changes. Yeah. Like your whole life changes in an incredible way.
Yeah.
So it's really powerful. And so a lot of fun. And we just love doing this and seeing the changes that happen for people, as Heather is talking about, and David, and that's why we do this, right? Because it makes a difference. It really does, and we love what we're doing. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yay. Oh,
Yeah,
so
get your head
good.
on straight, basically.
Yeah, get your head on straight.
We all need that, right?
And we have ANANDA coming, who's like one of the best.
Yeah.
He's so magical.
Yeah.
And it just if people don't know about kirtan, it's a mostly Sanskrit language chanting that's call and response, and talk about frequency and alignment. Like I've never felt higher and more enlightened than doing chanting. Yeah. Especially in a group. It's so powerful. Like the vibration is, and you're creating your own, you're receiving from everyone else. Yeah. And it's just like you can lie back and do whatever, but it's so, I that's for me one of my favorite things. And I'm also a singer, so I love it.
And for anyone who's not a singer and not really intimidated by the idea of raising my voice in public, but I love when there's harmony and I can feel the harmonics of, I'm not religious, so I never was in like hymns in church, but I feel like we miss out when we're not part of a communal vocalization time. And
Mm.
and I didn't know about kirtan until I met Shine. And I was really intimidated at first because there's these really weird words with these really weird sounds. And then they repeat them over and over. And you're just like, I don't know what's going on. But after you've done it for a few minutes, you're just like, oh, it doesn't even matter. I'm saying blah, 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 whatever, like it's close enough, but you feel the harmonics, you feel the frequency. And for me, the repetition, like it becomes such a beautiful meditation, and it creates such a, I feel like such a vibrational harmony within me. And it gets that, like it does for me what breath work can do as well, where it gets that kind of ego mind out of the way, shuts down that monkey mind chatter, and I'm just present in the moment and just in my body in community. So good. I'm so excited for this event. Oh, it's going to be so good. And we weren't able to have all our speakers and presenters and vendors on tonight, 'cause some people have a life. I don't know why. I mean, why wouldn't they be here with us? But anyway, I guess they have other stuff to do.
Too busy running their own social media.
Right. Yeah.
channels.
They need to hire Megan and then get on the show. So we're also going to be having, back by popular demand, our manifestation circles with the beautiful Stephanie. She just does, people just came out of those manifestation circles last time. She does a beautiful job of explaining a bit about manifestation, getting people right into like actual group work where we're not going to have as much time this time because we want to pack in so much, but we are going to get some time to do a little group work, group reflection, and actually sharing our manifestations with each other and really lining up. And after our last event, people were just like the stuff I not only like was it amazing to hear other people's manifestations, realize how we all really want to create the same stuff, like we can help support each other, but like my manifestations just like popped after just like speaking out in community in that high vibe environment. So that's going to be one of our amazing, we're going to actually close our Unite talks with the manifestations. We are actually going to take a little bit of time at this event, which we normally don't do, and share about Unite. So that's going to be a really lovely thing that normally we kind of like, yeah, we're Unite, we do some cool shit, thanks for coming to our event. But we're actually going to be taking a little bit of time to share about the big vision, share about where we're at, and share about kind of why we're doing this in the world and why we think it really matters and how you can support. So we're excited to be holding that space for ourselves. We're also going to have someone sharing about AI in depth, which is going to be really cool, and kind of sometimes there can be a little fear around AI. So he's talking about how it can really be used for good, and what a wonderful tool AI can be. Who else am I missing?
We're gonna have a show on next Thursday, same time, same place, with ΑΝANDA as the feature.
Yes.
We may play some songs. We'll do an interview, and then we'll have anyone who wants to come on, and hopefully some of the other.
All of you are welcome to come
presenters.
back and share more. We're going to have some of the other presenters come on and basically, just get to jam here from ΑΝANDA about really his vision for what he's bringing in to this event. And
so we've got next Thursday, and then the following Friday, I think, is the event. And then that's all day. And then Saturday and Sunday, ΑΝANDA's leading the Altar of Love weekend, which is something that he's done all over the world. And it's yoga in the morning and cacao ceremony and kirtan, and it's more of a like a deeper dive into kirtan, and even helpful if people are wanting to lead it, or just like getting a deeper dive into how to use your voice. And so it's more of a workshop. And then on the Saturday night, the 22nd, we're hosting a party after the thing.
This is a little exclusive party that you're just hearing about now to the whole world.
All right. So that's going to be really fun.
We wanted to give everyone an opportunity to actually spend some time with ＡNANDA in a social setting. We're probably going to do like a fireside jam with him and just get to really hang out and connect and socialize on our beautiful balcony overlooking the ocean in White Rock. So please mark that down in your calendar. July 22nd at our house. For that, we probably, I think how we're going to do it is, if you've been part of the Altar of Love, you're going to get to come automatically for free. If you're not, we're going to have to see, because we only have limited space, and I think it's going to be really popular. So we might do some tickets for that, just to yeah, make sure we have the awesome people here. So it's gonna be such a good weekend.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Book it all off and come for the whole thing. We have a lovely package. Just be part of the whole thing. Sleep over. We'll just roll out the mats. You can all be like sardines. And
It was fun last time because with Parangi,
Yeah.
we had our biggest event ever,
Yeah.
450 people,
Yeah.
huge, massive, awesome event. And with the night before, just randomly was Yaima, who is this other very popular artist. And it packed the church with like 275 people.
Yeah.
And we went to that and told everyone about Ananda, and then everyone came to it. So it was kind of
about
like this
Parangi. Yeah.
and it was kind of this like festival vibe of
Yeah.
like, oh, like one big event one day and another one the next day, and it
Yeah.
felt really fun. And so it's going to be, this is our first time doing anything multi-day and
Yeah.
workshop. And so Kathy and Paul can give us tips later because they've done probably
Yeah. Lots
You
of
know,
that.
and Anand, when he was with Jai Lakshmi,
Yeah.
stayed at the lighthouse with us all.
Yeah.
Back that was like 10 years ago.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everything has
Sweetheart.
shifted so much in this decade.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing him again. Yeah.
I
He
know.
also has Keats Cacao too. He's one of
Yeah.
his ambassadors with that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wanted to share a quick story because the manifestation circles.
Mm.
So I went to this, so what Stephanie is going to be doing at the end of the talks is this really amazing manifestation ceremony where you clarify a desire that you really, really are excited about and that you have not a ton of resistance about, and you speak it out loud to the group.
Mhm.
And then the group speaks it back to you or does something, and it's a way of really like spending a good chunk of time, at least a minute and a bit, of really focusing and everyone visualizing it being true and just really getting into it. So I went to this workshop like years ago called Millionaire Mind with T. Harv Eker,
Oh my God.
right? When he was still teaching it, and it was one of the first ones. And at this workshop, he taught people to like, you want to state your manifestation out loud, and you want to rub your ears and do like hearing, and you want to rub your hands and do touch, and you want to hold your heart and do feeling, and you want to eat something and do taste and whatever. So you did all the senses and you speak your manifestation. And so my manifestation was and it was just a random series of events, but I really wanted to go to music school, and I was going to go to Nelson, BC. I looked it up, and the first one that came up was Nelson, New Zealand. And I was in White Rock actually while I was doing this. And so I did my thing. I am moving to Nelson, New Zealand and going to music school or whatever. I'm moving to Nelson, New Zealand and doing my thing. So I did that thing, and it takes like a minute or 2 minutes. So I did that thing, go to bed. Next morning, I'm staying on Galliano Island. So I take the ferry and I'm hitchhiking and I get a ride. So the guy asked me, what am I doing with my life? And I said, well, I'm moving to Nelson, New Zealand. And he said, no way. I just got back from there. My family lives there, works at the music school, and can get you a job and like maybe get you an audition to be part of the musical program, which is what I wanted. And I was like, what the, like, I'm on Galliano Island in BC and like some random dude that picked me up in a truck, like just got back from Nelson. I was like, that was the first time that Law of Attraction was like, okay, maybe there's something going on here. I don't know. Possible. And too bad our friend James isn't on. If anyone gets the email tonight, we're partnering with James and his team at Capilano Connect, and they are creating a new phone and internet provider service partnered with Indigenous communities.
Yeah.
And a lot of Indigenous communities, at least around Canada, don't have good or any Wi-Fi or cell phone service. And so he said something like 43%, 48% of these communities that are usually not near cities can't even get a signal.
Versus 90% in all of Canada. 90% of 10% of people don't have connectivity, but 48% don't in these reserve lands.
So they've actually partnered with and have operations on reserve land, and partnering with Chief, I forget his name, I'm sorry, but
Chief
Phil Lane.
Phil Lane, thanks. Him.
not him, but someone else in
Oh my God,
the Capilano crew. Anyways, So they're doing this really cool thing where they partner with TELUS. You get the same or better service because it's you can kind of go between TELUS or Shaw or whatever, and they're giving a discount to anyone who comes through our Unite portal. So we put the link in our email today. If you want more information, I'll send you the link. And it was really moving and cool to hear what they're doing. And we're going to be doing some videos and maybe even doing some events where they'll invite the community to a potlatch or something. You know, we're right next to a reserve here in White Rock, and there's one in when you're crossing the Lionsgate Bridge or over top of the Capilano Reserve. So it felt really moving and lovely, and they're gonna do a percentage of their proceeds towards actually building infrastructure like towers that can give more service to Indigenous communities
and actually bring in income and jobs. Which is a beautiful thing as well. So yeah, so it is a new partnership. So we don't have all our facts straight yet, but we will get those sorted. But what is really exciting to us, like Shine said, is all of us in our community, all of us are wanting to walk our talk, are wanting to vote with our dollar and do good on the planet. But sometimes funds are tight and it feels like, oh, I can't contribute 10% of my paycheck to charity this month, and I can't spend a weekend at a soup kitchen, but I do really want to help. And this is such a wonderful, exciting way where we already all spend money on our cell phone and our internet. We all need that because that's how you're watching us right now and how we're coming to you. So it's already something that we're spending money on, and to be able to easily switch to someone who they have real people that we can talk to, which is really exciting because we absolutely hate the TELUS robots and all those people that are just like, you know, sorry, I can't, yeah. So they have real people we can talk to and, you know, real high quality services, and to know that our money is actually going to support this initiative and to support actually bring jobs and wealth into the community without being a handout. It's actually going to be a leg up across the board, a partnership, not just a handout for that community. So yeah, we're just really grateful, really excited. So that's Capilano Connect. That went out in your email today. If you want more information, let us know.
And one more quick story before
yes.
So
where you're not getting away from us.
So when I was 20, I was living in Vancouver, and I couldn't stop watching Legends of the Fall with dreamy Brad Pitt. And I kept watching this movie and thought, oh my God, I need to live there. Like, I want to live on that type of land where it's so beautiful, and these rolling plains and cabin, and it was just so beautiful. And I just kept feeling like, oh my God, I would just love to live there and be there. And so a series of events after Galliano, around that same time, series of events led me to get a job on a reserve outside of Calgary, playing with kids and playing sports with them. And first day we go for a drive, he's like, oh, let me show you something cool. So we drive across this river, get to this like beautiful piece of land with a kind of a falling down cabin. And he said, this is where they filmed Legends of the Fall. I was like, what the holy smokers. It was one of those where I'm like, okay, there's definitely something else. Like, it's not like, that's like too random to just be like, come on. So that was funny.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this event. This is gonna be one, and I'm like, there's so much magic. I can't wait.
Yeah,
so
that's so fun. I'm actually so grateful that you were able to stay on the call, Megan, because I was feeling like Megan is so many of you we've known Paul and Kathy forever. Shine lived with them in the first lighthouse before even he knew me. Like, we've known so many of these people so long, and along comes Megan. Like, you know, I've kind of like, you know, followed you a bit here and there on your like mismatch of a like Instagram and like, you know, and I'm just, you know what, I love what you guys are doing, and I'm all in, and I want to support. And she's jumping in with both feet without ever having been to one of our Unite events, not really knowing what we're up to.
She came to Prangi.
Oh, you did come to Prangi, but did you? There you go. So, okay, so she did come to one event, but she hasn't been part of an event, and really just to get such a strong, like, hell yes, I want to be part of this community without really knowing us is just, you know, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, we're so grateful and so excited
to have you. We're so excited for the support that you're going to bring to our community, because everyone needs what you're offering. And I'm so excited that you're excited to get to play with this wonderful community. And I feel like this event, more than any of our other events, we're always looking with Unite to bridge worlds. And we feel like sometimes, especially in Vancouver, because I think the wellness community is so broad in a way, it can also be a little bit, I'm trying to think of a polite word for when you shun everyone else, a little bit exclusive. So you're like, oh, I'm the breathwork community, I'm the cold plunge community, I'm the entrepreneur community.
A little cliquey.
A little cliquey, there's the word. I was trying to think of one that wasn't like a racist word. A little cliquey. And sometimes it can feel really hard to connect.
This is the Kundalini water fountain.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah, you may not pass. Your chakras are not at the right level.
Oh, dear.
And sometimes the business community can feel very salesy and very harsh, and in the wellness community can feel intense. And we're just, what we really found, somebody was asking me today, like, you know, why did you start hosting events? And I was like, basically, no one was doing what we wanted. And everybody was like, I like one component of your event, but I hate all the rest of it. And I like one component, but I hate, like, really like have a strong reaction to a lot of what you're doing at the events. And I love the energy and the intention, but actually a lot of what you're actually presenting is not for me. And one of my biggest pet peeves was a lot of events, they plug in so much happening and there's not enough time to be and to connect. So it's like you go in, you do the talk, you do the workshop, you do the thing. Okay, bye. And I'm like, but I just like got juiced up and now I want to connect and socialize. So really that's where our Unite events come from, is we wanted to be a bridge between worlds. We wanted to be uniting the wellness community and not having it be, oh, if you're part of this, you can't be part of this. And instead, the overarching umbrella is you care about humanity, you care about health and well-being, and you want to see more of it in the world and you want to support it. And anything that falls under that is welcome in our world. And we're always going to plug in a ton of social time, a ton of connection time, a ton of, have you met Bob? He's great. And I think you guys would hit it off and have a lot to offer each other. And yeah, that's really what we're bringing with all our Unite events. That's what we're bringing with our Unite platform, which we haven't even really touched on today on this call. But basically the Unite platform is recreating what we do in events online, because not everyone's in Vancouver and can come to our events. And until we grow and our events are global, you're going to have to join us online. So that's where you go, www.unite.love. And I think our final plug for this call is we love our events. We love our community. The events are not sustainable enough to support us building the community that we want to build. So we are in fundraising mode. We do need your support to keep going. So if you love what we're doing, if you want to support seeing more of what we're doing in the world, if you want us to keep doing this and especially keep doing events, we do need your support. So whether it's buying tickets to our event, which we always appreciate, pay it forward ticket, even if you can't come, that's amazing. We have lots of people who would love to be there and can't always afford to be there, although we do always offer a sliding scale as well. Share about our stuff, talk about our stuff. And number one thing we're looking for right now is investment. So whether you want to invest $1,000 or $100,000 or more, much more, we're doing our $2 million raise right now. So that is the path that we need, the means that we need to get the platform to where we can really make the impact that we want to make. We're going to be talking more about that impact at our Unite event. And if you want to know more, please do reach out to us. And yeah, we want to do this for the community and for all of us, and we need your help to get there. So yeah. Send love and funds our way, please. Even manifestation funds. See it happening, juice it up, see it flowing in beautifully. Sometimes it's a lot easier to actually manifest for someone else than for yourself. So send that juice.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
building basically a super app that's like Facebook meets Amazon with like an Airbnb business model for everything wellness and sustainability. So it's going to be a really beautiful big platform where you can find everything health and wellness and connect with community and buy the most eco-friendly stuff and get the best wellness services, and it can be all personalized to exactly what you want. So there's less time researching and less time and money on sales and marketing for the businesses. So it can just be an easier flow for everybody.
Love that. I was
Yeah.
just emailing someone yesterday about where can I find the most eco-friendly mascara, because I
Exactly.
didn't know where to start.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need it.
That'll be like a 2-second thing on Unite where you
Yeah.
just search it, buy it, done.
Yeah, 100%. We're so excited to be just making it easier and more affordable to incorporate well-being into our lives in every area. And this is our legacy project for humanity. This is our life's work that we will keep doing forever. And yeah, we need your support to get there.
And
So
eventually we get to open up centers and build towers and eco villages and
yeah,
do all the fun stuff. And
so we get to all live together and not just have events once in a while, but we actually get to live this and breathe it.
yeah, maybe.
Have our co-working spaces and our dance parties and our puppy rooms.
Lighthouses, but for like 500 people and everyone has their own space.
Exactly.
Better.
Yeah.
More fun. Yeah.
Aw. Thank you everyone
Yeah.
so much for taking this time with us.
Thank you,
for
Maureen and
joining
Beverly.
us. Yeah,
I see you in the chat and I appreciate you.
yeah, everyone for tuning in. It's just so special. Beverly, you've got your hand up. Please pipe in.
Or maybe she's just saying hi.
Oh, are you just waving to us?
Hi,
Oh,
Maureen.
Hi, darling.
Thank you for sharing. Love you all.
Thank you everyone for tuning in and being a part of this call with us. And yeah, just any way that you want to love us up, send us juice. We're here for it.
Juice.
Mwah,
your
mwah,
way.
mwah. Love, love, love.
Lots.
I'm always surprised at how fun these calls are,
Right?
even though we're just online.
Hi, darling.
Hi, Beverly. Mwah.
I know. We just get to see each other's faces, feel the juice.
Yeah.
These really kept us going through COVID, actually, just
Mhm.
being able to, we were surprised at how much we missed our events, of course. Our events is what we did for years. And we're like, what? We can't see people in real life. And we were shocked at how much we could still get juiced up and share each other's energy and really connect online. So yeah, thank you for being here with us.
So lovely. Mwah,
Thank
mwah.
you.
Everyone.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait to meet
Love.
everyone.
See you all soon.
Thank
See you
you,
all next
everyone.
week and
Thank
then
you,
the week
Megan.
after.
Next week.
Next week for the
Soon.
call and then the week after for the in-person.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll post the recordings and all that stuff so you can share it with people.
Yeah.
Love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, you guys.
Ciao, ciao,
Bye.
Mother. Aw,
Bye.
I love you guys so much.
Aw.
Good night, Maureen.
Bye.